Okay, so hello everyone. In last class, we have discussed about the middleware. Okay, so we have discussed about middleware. We have seen what is middleware. When means whenever any request go, it does not go directly on the server, but in between there are middleware. So the request go to the middleware, and the response generated by the server first go to the middleware, then it move to the user. Okay, so in the middleware we have discussed so many things. Okay, we have discussed so many things, but today we have to create the projects for the same. Okay, today we'll create the middleware project, and this is the flow. So user will send the request, it will go to the urls.py, then there will be a middleware in between, and then it will go to the views.py. Okay, so we'll try to create the middleware. We'll try to create the custom middleware. Already there are some predefined middleware in the Django, but we will create our own like middleware. Okay, so we'll create two projects on middleware. So let's create the first project first. So let me open VS Code. Let's create here one folder. So okay, so today is day 42. Okay. So let's create the project here. So what are the command to create the projects? We already know. So we'll follow the command and we'll create the project. So Django admin start project, and the project name, let's suppose middleware 1, middleware project 1. Okay, so project has created. Let's go inside this folder, cd middleware project directory. Okay, now inside the manage.py, create an app through the manage.py. So py manage.py start app, and application name is a test app. Okay, so our test application has created. Now follow the same steps what we are following from beginning. Register the application in settings.py file. So here we have installed it. In the installed app, let's register our application, which is test app. Okay. Now let's go to the view and create a view. So in the view, let's create a view. So here we'll create def welcome view. Okay. And the request parameter, and here we will return the HTTP response. So return. So whenever you want to return HTTP response, we have to import HTTP response. So from Django.http import HTTP response. So here we will write HTTP response, and here we will write one message with H1 tag. Okay. So what message we are going to write? So we will say custom middleware demo, right? Okay, so how we can see the output of this? So we need to define a URL. So in the URL, create here path and endpoint name. We can write endpoint name. So we can say welcome. And here we need to import the view. So from test tab import view. Right. So here we will say import the function which is inside the view. So which function? Welcome view function. Right. Okay. Now this is a simple project I created. Like we are not using anywhere middleware concept here, but let's see the output and then we will create the customized middleware here. So py manage.py run server. What's the problem? Oh, I think the test application name I have written incorrectly. That is why. Okay, here is the mistake. Okay, so now it is working. Here is the URL. Just click on it. Okay, let's see the response here. Okay, so let's go to the welcome page. So we are getting this welcome, sorry, custom middleware demo. Okay, so now I want to create my middleware. Okay, so in order to create the middleware, what I need to do? Okay, so here you will see there are a predefined middleware as well. So in the settings.py file, you will see there are different types of middleware. Here you can see these are the middleware for different purposes. Okay, like we have security middleware. Okay, session middleware is there. Then we have common middleware. Okay, CSRF middleware, authentication middleware, and message middleware is there. X-frame options middleware are there. So there are different types of middleware, and these all are the middleware given by the Django framework. Okay, so what we will do, we'll create our own middleware. So for creating our own middleware, so inside the test app folder, we will create one file. So let's close this. Okay, so this is the test app folder. In the test app folder, we'll create one file, and the file name will be middleware.py. Okay, so here we will write our middleware name. So middleware is a class, okay, which is the child class of object class. We have already discussed about it. Whenever we are creating a class, whenever we are creating a class, that class is what? Child class of object class. Okay, every Python class is a child class of object class, right? So similarly, here we will create the class which will be the child class of object class. So here we will write the class name. So class, and the class name is execution flow middleware. Okay. So in this class, we have two methods. One is constructor method, second is call method. Okay. So how to create the constructor? By writing here def init. Okay. And the second method is def call method. Right. So these are the two methods. We already discussed in the last class about these two methods. So whenever we create the custom middleware, there will be two methods. One is init, which is nothing but a constructor, and second is a call method. Okay. So whenever we are creating middleware, so these two methods are what mandatory. Okay. And here self means it belongs to the current object. That is why we are writing self here. Self means it is belong to the same class, and this get underscore response is the function which will get the response. Okay, and I mean it will generate the response and it will get the request. Okay, so we will use this. So here what is, first of all, let's we have to say this init constructor belongs to this class. So means here we have to write the self, and here also we need to write the self. Okay, and after that here we have one method which name we have to write. The method name is get underscore response, right? And here we have this call method have one request parameter. So request parameter is done. And I said whenever we are creating a class, so every middleware class or every Python class is a child class of object. So how we can say it is a child class of object? We will say, we will write here object. Okay. So object is what? Object is a parent class. Okay. So let's suppose what I want. So whenever we are okay, so let's go to the view, and in the view let's write one message. Print this message I am writing for the console window. So here there should be a one message. This line is added by view function. Okay, so this is the message I have written. So see, whenever I will refresh, whenever any request will go to the server. Okay, so right now you will see there is no message and all. Okay, so once I will write the request, I will send the request by refreshing it. You will see. So this request go to the welcome. I mean, there is a view function. The request goes to a view, and you can see the message is coming. This line is added by the view function. Means our request is going to directly to this view, welcome view. Okay, let's suppose if I refresh again, you will see another time this message will print. Okay, this line is added by view function. So this request is going directly to this view function, but we have to stop it. We have to bring the request first on the middleware file. Means here we want to bring the request first. So what we will do, we'll create here one function. Okay, so here we will write one print. Okay, in the print we will mention what we will mention init method execute. Okay. So init method execute when init method will execute when the server will start. So first time init method will execute automatically. Here also I have written the same. Okay. this method executed. Okay, sys1. Okay, this method will be executed only once at the time of creating the middleware class object. Okay, this is mostly happen at the time of server starting. So whenever you will try to start server, whenever you will start the server, so one method will execute first time, which is init method, right? So which is mostly happened at the time of server starting. Okay. Now in the response, we have to add the response. Okay, so means this is the self dot get underscore response. So inside this response, we have to add this response. Okay. Okay. So self dot get response. This belongs to this execution flow middleware class, and this is the get response is the response which is the parameter. Okay. Now let's talk about this call method. So in the call method, okay, so we will print one message here, pre-processing of request. Okay, so before going the request to the server, so this message will print, and after that the response we will print. So response, who will generate the response? View function. Okay, so we will say self dot get underscore response. Okay, and this is the request parameter, and then we will give this response we will give to the response variable. Right, and after the response, after this view function response, I will print here one more message, post processing of the request. Okay, means before going to the the request to the view, this message will print. Okay, then the message of the view function will print, and after that, before going to means sending the response to the end user, we are printing this message also, print post pre-processing request. Okay, and then what we have to do, in the last we have to return the response. Okay, this response we are returning to the end user. Okay, but before returning this response to the end user, which message we are printing? This message we are printing, then we are generating the response, then we are printing this message. Okay, and in the last we are sending the response back to the end user. Okay, but if you will execute this, if you will run this, I mean if you will go here and if you will send the request again, so what will happen? You will see this line is added by the function, it is executing, but whatever lines we have written here, like init method executed, okay, pre-processing of the request, post-processing of the request, this is not executing. Why? Because this middleware we have created, which is nothing but a custom middleware we have created. But the problem is, this is the custom middleware, is not recognized by the Django project. Okay, so this custom middleware we need to configure in the settings. Okay, in the settings.py, in the project settings, in the project configuration, we have settings as well. So in the setting, we have to go to the settings.py file. Okay, means we have to go to here and where we have to configure it. Okay, so you will see here, you will see here, okay, where is middleware? Okay, so here we have already middleware, predefined middlewares are there. So here we have to write our middleware. Okay, so what is our middleware name? We have to mention here. Okay, so first of all, we have to mention where is our middleware. So our middleware actually here at this location, and this is inside the test app folder, right? So here we have to mention like our middleware in the test app, and then we will write the file name. So what is my file name? Middleware. Okay, and inside the middleware we have created one class. Okay, so what is the class name? What is our middleware name? What is our middleware name? So if you will go here, you will see the middleware name is this. So we have to keep this name also. Okay, so now we have added the middleware successfully. Okay, so now let's send the request once again. So go to the page and send the request by clicking here. Okay, now check the what we are getting. So now we are getting pre-processing of the request, and then we are getting this line is added by the view function. Now we are getting post processing of the request. So means whenever request is going to the Django server, it is not going directly. First of all, it is going to the middleware. Okay, then it is going to the, then it is printing function message from the view, and then pre-processing of the request. Okay, so this is printing because of the middleware, right? Okay, let's suppose if I cancel this, if I stop the server and I run the server once again. Okay, so you can see whenever we start the server, which method execute? The init method execute. Okay, so from the init method you can see one message printed, init method execution. So whenever we start the server, this init constructor call. Okay, now whenever we will send the request, sending request is nothing but when I am refreshing this page, so the request is going to the server. So but before going to the server, it is going to the pre-processing of request middleware, then the view function, and then post processing of the middleware function. Okay, I hope you are understanding this. If you're not understanding, please try to write the code by yourself, try to execute it by yourself. Then you will get more clarity about it. Okay, let's move to the another project. So as I said, we will create two projects. So let me just create another project as well. So this is the middleware one project. Let's create, let me close all. Okay, stop this. Come back to day 42 folder. So how we will go back? Cd dot dot. So now here we are day 42, and here we will create one project, Django admin start project, and the project name is middleware project 2. So we have middleware project 2. So we have to go inside the middleware project 2, cd middleware project 2. Okay, not 1 but 2. Right. So here we are in this folder. Now let's create the test app. Py manage.py start app. And what's the application name? Test app. Configure this test app in the settings.py. Let's go to the settings.py and let's write here test app. Correct. So this is how we have configured. Now let's close this. Go to the test app. Right. Now in the test app, let's create one view. Okay. So what's the view name? So let's write the view name class. Sorry, we will create the function based view. So def, and after that home page view. Okay, and the request parameter, and then we will write the return and HTTP response. Okay, for HTTP response we need to import HTTP from Django.http import HTTP response. Okay, so here we have to return HTTP response. Okay, and we can write here h1 as well, and we will write one message here. Hello, this response is from view function response. Hello, function this response is from view function response. Okay, so alt z, the lines will come after each other. Okay, now for this view, let's create one URL. For creating the URL, go to the project configurations, then urls.py, and here create the URL. So let's create one path. Okay, and here import the view. So from where? From the test tab, import views. Okay, so view file we have imported. Now here write the endpoint name. Let's suppose endpoint name is hello. Okay, so views dot, what is the file name? What's the view name? Home page view. Right. So let's run the server. So if you will run the server, you will see. Okay, so let's go here. So this time this is not the welcome endpoint. Let's refresh here. You will see hello endpoint is there. So let's write here hello. Okay, so this response is from view function response. Okay, so now let's create the middleware. So inside the test tab, create here middleware. So click on new file and write here middleware.py. So what we are doing, we are creating the custom middleware, right? And the middleware name, let's write. Okay, let's suppose you don't want to display the view function. You don't want to display this view function because your application is in the maintenance phase. Okay, your application is in maintenance phase. That is why you don't want to display this message. So you want to display the custom message, okay, from the middleware. So what you will write? You will write here one class. You will create one class. So you can write the name app maintenance middleware. Okay, so this is the child class of which class? Object class. Okay, I have written here app maintenance middleware. Okay, so this is the class name. You can write any name, but better to write meaningful name. And here we have two functions. One is init, second is call. Okay, so def underscore init constructor. Okay. Second is what? Def underscore call method is there. Okay. So what we will do, we will write the default parameter here. One is self. Second is get response. Right. So get response is a function, and here we will write get response, and we will assign this get response into the self dot get underscore response. Okay. So in the call we will write one parameter is self, and the second one is request. And instead of writing this pass and this pass, we will write the code. Okay, so what we will do, we will try to display a custom message. Right now, if you will see, we are getting this message, hello, this response is from view function response. Let's suppose this view function is under maintenance. Okay, this page is, this hello endpoint is under maintenance. So we want to display the custom message through the custom middleware. So here we will write that message. So we will return that message by HTTP response. So for HTTP response, we need to import the HTTP response. So from Django.http import HTTP response. Okay. So here return the HTTP response by saying you may write H1. The H1 you can write the clear message. Okay. So what would be the clear message? Clear message you may write, which is currently application is under maintenance. Please try after 3 days. Okay. So this message we want to display, right? Okay. So whenever we will start the server, this constructor will call, and this get response function we are assigning to the self.get response. Okay, and then the call method will execute. Before going to the request to the view, it will execute and it will display this message. Okay, so actually we'll try to access this hello endpoint. We will try to access, so we will not get this message, we'll get the different message. Okay, so what we will have to do now, this middleware we have to register in the settings. So go into the settings. So in the settings.py we have middleware, and here we have to define our own middleware, which is custom middleware. So where it is available, inside the test tab. What is the file name? File name is middleware.py. So write the file name middleware dot, okay, just write middleware. Then after it we will write the class name. What's the class name? Class name is app maintenance middleware. Okay, so let's just copy it and go back to the setting and write the name. Okay, so there is a get response error. Let's try to fix it. Here, there, this is the spelling mistake. Okay, So now it's working fine. So let me just start the server, py manage.py run server. Okay, so server has started. Okay, so let's refresh this. Okay, so we are accessing which endpoint? Hello endpoint, and what it is displaying? Currently application is under maintenance. Please try after 3 days. Okay, so means it should display this message which is inside the view, but it's not displaying this message. Instead of this, it is displaying the custom message through this middleware. Okay, so here we have written here custom message, so this is displaying, right? Okay, so that's it for this second project. You may practice, you may create more custom middleware. Okay, you can practice it more. I was just telling you the concept, how middleware concept work. Okay, so let me just push this code on GitHub as well. Git add dot git commit hyphen m middleware, that's right, dev 42. Okay, and git push. Okay, so from here you can access all the files. And so here you can see the recent comment. Okay, here is the day 42. Here we have two projects, so you can access any project. Okay, try to practice it by yourself. If you face any difficulty, you can watch the video, you can check the code. Okay, here is the custom middleware. Okay, these are two important functions whenever we are creating the middleware. And middleware class is the child class of object class. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you everyone for giving your valuable time.